Well, guys, we did it. I got some super awesome good news to share with all of you. And that is because we secured our Nationals invite. Over the weekend, I played at the Carta Magica in-person regionals and placed 4th in the end, playing my personal best deck of all time, Imperial. Hello Digimon players and fans, welcome back to another deck profile video and in-depth guide. I know we covered quite a lot of Imperial content on the channel ever since the starter decks came out and BT8. Just in case you didn't know, Imperial is definitely one of my most favorite decks to play in terms of style and mechanic within the Digimon card game. But first and foremost, I want to give a huge shout out to all my friends who helped me playtest it together multiple days and nights, which really helped me improve as a player and got myself ready for the regional. Ever since EX02 came out, I haven't done an update on Imperial yet, so this video will be covering that mainly. Some of the pieces in my previous deck list has changed quite slightly, and I will go over all of them with you guys explaining the reasoning behind my choices. Which is why this video would be geared more towards for advanced players who have played and touched upon Imperial from before. So if you're new to the game, but haven't watched my Ultimate Imperial guide as well as my starter deck guide, then you definitely be sure want to check those videos out first. Links will be left in the description box down below. So there's a lot to go through today because I'll be showcasing you the deck profile first, and then I'll quickly talk about some changes that I would may or may not make, and then I'll round it off with all my matchups and a quick overview of how every single game went in detail. Now I know most of you guys are excited for BT9 as pre-release is actually coming this weekend. Of course we'll be covering lots of content across the channel for BT9, so be sure to subscribe and turn on that notification bell right now to stay tuned. Also give this video a like because it just really helps support the channel. Now let's get into the deck profile first. Okay, Digi-Egg cards. I play the 4 Demi Vmon as my Digi-Eggs, the one that's when attacking once per turn. If you have jamming, draw 1. I did initially play 4 copies of this and 1 Ophanimon, and also play tested the starter deck Demi Vmon from the All-Force Beelzemon starter deck as well. However, over many experiences of many different games playing the Imperial deck, I think it's just the best to keep the Digi-Egg count just to be 4 so that we're always consistently proccing this effect to get our draw power from there. There's no other conditions we need to meet, and we do a whole lot of jamming in this deck, and that's why I really want to focus on. And the other thing I want to mention is that there's so many games in this format that end super quick. There's rarely any time that I've ever had to use my 5th egg in any of my games. So this is why I like to stick to the only 4 Demi Vmon for consistency. Okay, let's then talk about rookies. The first rookie we want to showcase is a very brand new addition from EX02, and that's the 4 copies of Labramon. What Labramon does is that it gives you inheritable of when attacking once per turn with jamming, you gain a memory. And like I mentioned earlier, I like to focus a lot on jamming on this deck, and that's my pure game plan. That's why I want to maximize that Labramon. Labramon combos extremely well with your Imperialdramon combo and XVmon as well, and this is the Neo Prio rookie that I want to go for. However, the downside is that it does cut into your Vmon, so you have to play around it a little bit more and be more cautious as well. Alright, let's talk about Vmons. The first Vmon I have is definitely the Imperialdramon starter deck Vmon that lets you search. Searching, gathering your pieces for your combos for later in the game is just really good and really crucial, so I definitely want to play this at 300%. Next, we have another starter deck Vmon where we have 3 copies of the one that gives you drawing from the All-Force Beelzemon. Warping, we never really warp ever in this deck. However, I mainly play it just for the inheritable, that when we have 7 or fewer cards when attacking, not once per turn as well, we get to draw 1, just so we can once again get a lot of turbo draw power in the early stages of the game to get into our combo pieces once again. That's really why it's there. Next up, I also have 2 copies of the EX01 Vmon. This one is your turn once per turn. When you unsuspend, you get to gain a memory. Does combo very well with your Imperialdramon. However, you guys can see that the Labramon actually gives you more value and benefit in the long run in gaining actually more memory, which is more helpful, which is why this card has been bumped down to 2 instead. And 2 is still a really great number, and it has worked out very nicely for me. Last but not least, we got the 2 jamming Vmons from BT3. Like I mentioned in so many of my videos, this card is just so great, combos really well with Demi Vmon in the early stages of the game so that you can do chip damage, draw, and set the security up to lower your opponent's health a little bit, so then later for the big turns when you make your big combos, it's easy to go for game, and that's really why he's there. That's it for all of our rookies. Now let's talk about champions. Very standard lineup right here. 4 copies of X-Vmon and 4 copies of Stingmon. Both X-Vmon and Stingmon are your always go-to combo pieces to get into your DNA Imperialdramon so that you can always get a lot of value with jamming and drawing while you're swinging, which is always really good. That's all I can really say there. Then we have 2 copies of Lydramon. Many guys I know out there play 3 copies. However, I have decided to bump this down to 2 for several reasons. One reason is being that we focus a lot on Labramon now. Labramon cannot digivolve into Lydramon, so that is an important factor that you have to keep in mind. But also, just to get a little bit ahead, I also decreased the number of Davis and Kens I play, meaning Lydramon would actually benefit less now by having that many copies, and I did adjust the ratios, and I feel like this is just a much more better fit for my playstyle. So 2 copies of Lydramon is all I need. Then we have 1 Magnamon. I feel like this card is always just very nice because it gives you a blocker defensive capabilities for the deck. It can also come in and clutch with its extra DP and help you slow down the game a little bit as a level 4, which is just really, really good. Last but not least, 1 Lobo, hybrid for game. Always great to have. Always kind of sometimes wish I had 2, but 1 is really all we need, and 1 is all we can really fit in the deck space as well. Okay, level 5s. We talked about this card so many times on the channel. Beelzemon, best card, the boss Digimon of this entire deck. It really is the core, heart and soul. It gives you multiple swings. When it is DNA Digivolve, you can bottom deck something that's 6,000 DP or less. I've talked about so many times in my videos, bottom decking is one of the best removals to get something out of the game completely. And that is because your opponent can't access that card back as a resource. And like I mentioned, it's the main combo, bread and butter, with your X-Vmon and Stingmon to make many checks in one turn. For the other level 5s, I have 2 Chimeramons. Now, initially, in my Ultimate Imperial Guide, I also mentioned and played Stingmon. Now, over playtesting more and with my experience, I learned to really like Chimeramon for many, many reasons, and I think Chimeramon is really the way to go for me. Now, the first reason is because partially we play Magnamon. Magnamon can slide underneath Chimeramon, potentially giving Chimeramon all the 4 colors it needs to go up to 12,000 DP, which is really strong. But not only that, it can lower your opponent's DP by 4,000 in total, but even 3,000 is really great. And I notice a lot of people play the floodgates like Madoki Betamon, Syakomon, or just a lot of rookies that stay on board. And having Chimeramon out there can just completely wipe those all out in one single blow. It's just really, really good. Not to mention, it combos very well with our top end cards, both being the Dragon mode and the Fighter mode. For the Dragon mode in particular, Chimeramon lets you slide in something from the bottom so you can be more selective with your choices when you go into Dragon mode afterwards. Or, on the other hand, it goes very well with Fighter mode because Chimeramon would usually consistently minus something by 3,000 DP, and then you can go into Fighter mode afterwards where you can bounce something that's 10,000 DP or less. And because of the combo along with Chimeramon's DP reduction effect, you can bounce something that is 13,000 DP in total and maximum at 14,000 DP that your opponent has. So getting rid of their boss Digimon off on the board, which is very nice. And I do want to see Chimeramon a lot with these combos, which is I decided to play 2. That's it for level 5s. Level 6s, 2 Dragon modes and 2 Fighter modes here. Done. Dragon mode, go wide and then do your combos again with DNA. Fantastic. Fighter mode, swing more aggressive at the top end, bounce things, suspend things, and control the board more, or just give you more multiple checks and comboing together. It's just really, really good. Sometimes I do feel like I only really want or need 1 Fighter mode because you rarely need to get into your second one. But once again, for consistency's sake, I do want to have 2 in my deck. That way I can always make sure that I can access into at least 1 during the game. So that's it for level 6s. Tamers. 3 Davises and 2 Davis Kens. Davis is definitely your crucial Tamer because it's your memory setter and your searcher. As for the Davis and Ken dual color Tamer, like I mentioned earlier when I was talking about Lydramon, I don't feel like I need to do as many dual color stuff, and I don't have as many dual color stuff in this current moment anymore. And I think having 3 copies initially was kind of bricky. This card is really great in the mid game and late game, especially when you're doing your full-on blown combos. However, seeing this card in my hand at the early stages of the game feels kind of a little bit bricky because I'm not really getting as much value playing this card right off the bat. But however, 2 copies has then worked out very perfectly for me overall. That's it for Tamers. Options: standard package, 4 Hammer Sparks, 1 Ice Wall. I know a lot of players have cut down 1 single Hammer Spark. However, I feel like Hammer Spark is your defensive tool. It's also your combo extending tool, and I feel like you always need to maximize it at 4 in order to combat against many other decks. And Hammer Sparks has given me a lot of potential opportunities to make really big plays in the later of the game, which is why I always want to keep at 4. Same for Ice Wall. It is your defensive card in security. It is also your defensive card on play. So that's basically the standard I'll always keep at. Next, talking about more defensives, 2 Mega Defs, really great card. Suspend something and bounce something. Just, yeah, I can't say how good this card really is. I wouldn't play 3 copies. I know some people like to play 3 as well, but 2 is just a really good number for me, and it shows up enough because drawing this card in your hand does kind of feel bad if you see multiple copies at the same time. You really want it to have it to come out from security mainly. Then we got 1 blue memory boost, just a very nice little tech for more searching and an extra memory gain for big combo plays. Very similar idea to Hammer Spark, and searching is just really great, and I love searching in this deck, getting combo pieces once again. Last but not least, to round off, HPD, the big bang combo play for you to play into really cool combos. You guys seen my combo videos in my combo segment of my ultimate Imperial guide, so be sure to check that out if you haven't yet. And yeah, HPD lets you do crazy things, gives you that 1 big turn, and it just bridges your combos and extends it even further so that you can actually just simply win in that 1 single turn. Insane card. Overall, I want to be really honest, and I'm very happy with how the deck turned out. And I really wouldn't change too much, and that is from the results of playtesting so many times over and over again, and I fine-tuned it to what I really like. The only suggestion I would possibly make would be switching around the ratios with the Vmon line. I do sometimes feel that I prefer the EX01 Vmon, mostly because of its memory gain, so that I could make more plays during the turn. So perhaps maybe I would consider taking 1 O-Force Vegemon starter deck Vmon out, and then adding another copy of it to bump it up to 3. And that's really about it. So now that we got the deck profile done, let's talk about our matchups. Just before talking about our matches, I do want to give a quick shout out to all the opponents that I faced, and every one of them were fantastic games. It was extremely fun and an absolute pleasure to play with every single one of them, and yeah, we had a great time. But anyways, let's get right into the breakdown of my matches. So for round 1, I played against Red Hybrid and scored 2-1 against them. Red Hybrid is pretty scary because of their one-shot combo is just pretty crazy, with their Ancient Greymon checking multiple stacks, and then having Aldamon within that stack prevents any options being activated, so we have no defensive coverage whatsoever. And then they can even top it off with a Blitz Omni, so there's really nothing we could do once they have it. There isn't much we can do to stop them with the combo as well, and they do play Gravity Crush, and unfortunately I don't have any Madoki Betamons to stop them. The only one way out of it is to have Magnamon, and that is because Magnamon is a blocker. But not only that, we do need a Vmon source underneath so we can Armor Purge to prevent any piercing. However, overall the games, we were able to pace them out early on and take out lots of their security, which on the other hand, on their end, it took them too long to set up, and we were basically able to win our games from there. Round 2, we faced against Gallantmon, and we also went 2-1 in this matchup. For game 1, we had full combo. And then for game 2, they had control with constant removal, which made it very difficult for us to hard play and find things. Overall, we weren't able to find our pieces, and we got outpaced in security, so they swung multiple times and we weren't able to answer. Game 3, we both bricked in the beginning. However, the bright side is that I was able to recover faster and then go into a full combo later on before they were able to do anything else. So I basically took the game from there. Round 3, Mastemon. Mastemon is definitely one of the higher top tier decks of the format as well, and overall we were able to actually 2-0 the opponent. And it was simply because our opponent was not seeing the pieces they need with their searching, and it was too slow for them. At the same time, their security was not very strong. I didn't see that many Chaos Degradations or any Flame House Scythes as much to stop me from swinging as much as I can. They didn't even get a chance to make the Mastemon and Lucemon combo at all. So luckily, it was quite smooth for us. Round 4, we faced against Red Hybrid once again. However, different to the first one, this matchup was a lot more harder. We're playing a much more stronger player who has great knowledge in what they're doing, and huge shoutouts to them. They were able to search quickly and find pieces they need for the one-shot combo in both games. So we actually lost this round, 0 and 2 as well. It was quite unfortunate for both games as we were not able to find the combo pieces we need to swing into them and deal damage to win early and fast. Game 1, I wasn't able to find my Mastemon to go into the Imperialdramon combo, and then for Game 2, I wasn't able to find Imperialdramon to make the combo either. So I end up sitting there trying to search as much as I could. However, they were able to search faster than I could, and then they had the combo for games. They also had a lot of Atomic Blasters in their security, and Crimson Blaze for wide removal, which made it extra difficult for us to swing aggressive. But once again, huge shoutouts to the opponents for playing extremely well. Round 5, we played against Purple Hybrid Cherubimon, and we actually 2-0'd them. However, generally, I think Cherubimon was a very good meta call. With the resurgence of Blue Hybrid, I remember in BT7 format, Cherubi and Purple Hybrid had a really good answer against them. But not only that, it actually has a very good matchup against Blue in general as well. And that is because they are very good at controlling the board against level 4s and level 5s. Level 4 deletions for Deathclaw, and then the Schwartz Purple option card that can remove level 5s. And that's definitely a weakness for Imperialdramon. However, the only downside is that in this current meta, it's very fast paced, especially with Imperial. Unlike BT7, Purple Cherubi was able to have some bit of time to set up their board and set up their trash for the Cherubimon combo plays. However, I was able to swing at them and apply pressure very quickly, taking them out before they were even able to combo in their late game. Round 6, we played against a very good Blue Hybrid player. Game 1, I was able to swing very fast and deal lots of damage, so they weren't able to set up at all. Game 2, on the other hand, they were able to control the board with lots of stunning, and I was stunned for days. And then they were also able to set up a lot of their Tamers, so then they were able to go 1-by-1 hybrid free game into my security, and there was nothing I could do about it. However, during the course of this game, I learned a new strategy against Blue Hybrid as Imperial. I actually went wide. I noticed that they exhausted a lot of their stunning capabilities and cards in the early stages of the game. They digivolved over Tommy, and I noticed that they were trying to swing into my security a little bit too soon. However, this ended up deleting their hybrid Digimon during the security battle. I also noticed that they didn't have too many cards in their hand, so I went wide with multiple Digimon with not many sources. I know that I would risk giving them a bit too much memory. It makes their stunning difficult, because there's so many targets on the board now and they can't stun them all. And one thing that I did luck out on is that they didn't have Azulamon to punish me for going wide with no sources. And then I was then able to make multiple chips and multiple checks and then go for a full combo for game. Now for round 7, which is the final round, we actually went 2-1. And this is the most epic one, because we actually faced against Mario. Yes, Mario from Mario's Gaming World. This is actually my sort of unofficial rematch against him. And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, then you guys gotta check out the Battle of New Awakening series collaboration that I did with him. There, we played against each other with the brand new starter decks of the Mastemon and Imperialdramon, with me of course piloting the Imperial and him piloting the Mastemon. We had a ton of fun making content together, so you guys definitely want to watch that video. As always, it's always an honor and absolute pleasure to play against him because Mario is a very good player. We were also super hyped, and it was just crazy when we saw each other in the final round because we've been cheering each other on throughout the entire tourney. He was X1 and I was X1. So for game 1, he was able to full combo me super quickly. He had hidden potential discovered and he just went on top of Imperial Dragon mode and then Fighter mode and then just made so many swings and there was nothing I could do. Game 2, however, I was able to control their board early. Mario went a little wide with a couple of rookies and I was able to clear the board and then he had to slowly rebuild. While he was trying to recover from that, I was able to swing aggressively, which I then took out all his security and won from there. Game 3, and this is intense. It was actually very even in the beginning, but then Mario started to brick quite a bit and did not see the pieces he need for his combos. Unfortunately, he had to hard drop an XVmon on the board and it was very vulnerable to my Elytramon. Later on, he also had to hard drop a Dino Beemon and gave me quite a lot of memory. And all I had to do was apply pressure and control the board bit by bit, and the only way he could do is try his best to answer. And once he wasn't able to, I just end up finishing making the big multiple swing combo turn in the end, along with my own HPD. That will sum up for all of my matches, as I will be including all the records in the comments down below, which I hope will be helpful for all of you. That will conclude for my very own deck building strategy and in-depth guide, as well as all my matchup coverage playing the Imperialdramon deck at the Regionals event. If you guys enjoyed the video and found it helpful, please give it a like. If you have any suggestions, recommendations, or questions, be sure to share it with everyone in the comments down below. Like I mentioned so many times, Imperial is 100% my favorite type of deck to play in the Digimon card game. However, we're not going to stop. Even with BT9 coming, we're going to try to continue to make the deck work. And if you guys want to see more content, then be sure to hit that subscribe button right now and turn on that notification bell to stay tuned. Since we made top 4, of course we have a lot of really cool exclusive prizes to open up. However, I do want to save that for another video for another time because there's a lot of cards to go through and there's a lot of packs I accumulated over time. And I definitely want to take it slowly to showcase you guys how amazing some of the cards really are. So you guys know what you gotta do. Stay tuned for that. As always, thank you all so much for watching. You guys have a great day, great night, wherever you are. See you in the next video. In this vault, signing out.